All right, we'll call to order the regular meeting of the Newman City Council for June 26, 2001. We rise and have a pledge of allegiance and remain standing for invocation, please. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Lord, please lead us in, guide us and be able to have our meeting continue with no problems and to go through all of our agenda and amen.
Amen. Amen.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Parker, Applegate,
Present.
Martinez,
Present.
Pantasia,
Present.
Mayor Reed.
Present. Can we, any communications from staff?
I don't believe so. We'll cover some things under my report at the end unless the council has any questions of any staff at this point.
I think so.
Okay.
Items from the public, non-agenda items. While the City Council welcomes and encourages participation in the meetings, it would be appreciated if you limit your comments to 3 minutes so that everyone may be heard. Matters under the jurisdiction of the Council not on the posted agenda may be addressed by the general public at this time. However, California law prohibits the Council from taking action on any matter which is not on the posted agenda unless it's determined to be an emergency by the City Council. Any non-agenda items? Items from public agenda items. Any member of the audience desiring to address the council on a matter on the agenda, please raise your hand or step to the podium at the time the item is announced by the mayor. In order that all interested parties have an opportunity to speak, any person addressing the council will be limited to a maximum of 3 minutes unless the mayor grants a longer period of time. At that time, please come to the podium and state your name and address for the record. Items number 7, public hearings. There are none tonight. Item number 8, consent calendar. 8A is approval of warrants. 8B, approval of minutes of June 12, 2001 regular meeting. Item C, approve new public works job description. D, approve request for authorization to terminate the wastewater treatment plant farm lease agreement. Any comments on the consent calendar? Anyone want to pull any items from that? Okay, do we have a motion to approve?
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 4-0. Item 9, regular business. Item 9A, authorize staff to send a letter to the United States Environmental Protection Agency supporting a request regarding air quality attainment deadlines proposed by the San Joaquin Valley Air Pollution Control District.
I think I'm going to turn this item over to Councilmember Applegate, who is on the board for the Air Pollution Control District, and let him address it. He requested that this be on the agenda.
Yeah, the board sent out letters to all of the entities in the state of California, cities, counties, environmental agencies, whatever. And what our problem is that we're supposed to meet our attainment deadline by the year 2005. The way it is right now, we're never able to obtain that date, the attainment by that date. So what we're asking to happen with the federal government is that they give us to the year 2007. That does not mean that we're going to slow down our efforts to try the attainment by 2005. We still will use the same methods that we're doing right now, but we need the additional 2 years to get there. If we don't make it by 2005 and we don't get the extension, then the environmental agency will come in. We're going to lose millions and millions of dollars of highway funds, and we will be governed by the EPA. So it's very imperative that we get this extension into the year 2007. So that's why we're asking for the letter to be sent.
Many of you have probably heard the report on this. If we do not if they do not grant the extension, and if we do not attain that, the level, meet that goal as required, there are some very stiff penalties that have the potential to completely shut down any business growth and maybe even shut down some businesses currently operating in the valley if
Yeah,
that
we
were.
were classified as serious, and now we're classified as severe, which is the worst rating as you can get in the state of California.
Except for Los Angeles.
Right. Well, I think we're the second worst one in the state. And a lot of it has to do with the stuff coming over from the Bay Area. And that's another report I'll give you a report on maybe at the next meeting, because we just went over that. There's other ways that we can try to see what we can do to get the Bay Area to go into smog check 2. Right now they're in smog check 1, and all of us over here except for Newman and Gustine are in smog check 2. So there's things we're trying to do to get things to look better for our area. Quite a bit of stuff really comes over. In fact, we have a tape on that, and maybe I should bring the tape and let you look at that to see what really happens. As it shows it coming over the hill and down through the valley and down into Fresno and over to Paso Robles. So
Makes a circle, comes around there, or?
actually, it comes from the Bay Area down through the valley, down to Bakersfield, and curves back up, back into our valley.
Well, it seems to me the source of the problem is not so much the valley as it is, and I'm sure that we're part of the problem, but how can we become in compliance with, what the Environmental Protection Agency wants us to do? What can we do as a community? I mean, we certainly would certainly try to do everything we can, but, if we have problems because San Francisco is including the valley, I don't know, there's nothing we can do. I mean,
Sure.
Well, we're working on that. There are some things that we can do as a board.
what, to make San Francisco come in compliant?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what we're working on right now.
They're trying to force San Francisco, the Bay Area, to go to smog
Smog
check
check 2.
2, which would help.
We found a way that we should be able to do it. Right now, there's a state law that says that they do not have to do it. And that was done by, who. Over
Well,
the
yeah,
Bay Area.
they're in attainment there because all of their smog comes over here.
That's right.
So, yeah. Any other comments on this? or-
No, I agree that something has to be done, but I'm just saying, I don't know what we can do. I mean, I'd like to see point by point what we can do as a community to meet their guidelines.
Okay, I'll work on a report with all the information I
Yeah,
have
'cause
and bring it to one of the
I
future
just
meetings.
think, Tom, so much of this is not coming from this area. It's coming from other areas, and I'm saying, it seems unfair to to burden us with the problem when it's somebody else.
Well, wait till you hear the plan that they're trying to get through, is that mitigation fees. In other words, they would pay mitigation fees to us for the stuff that came over the hill, and then we would pay mitigation fees to Paso Robles and Fresno, Bakersfield, and they would pay mitigation fees, but it's all the same person coming over the hill. We'd be paying mitigation fees for their stuff, which that's not fair at all. So, I mean, it's up in the air right now, and it's before the legislature.
Yeah,
so-
we've got two highways that are very close to Newman that probably pollute a lot of our area. And those cars are traveling up and down the state, and we're being penalized.
Right.
And that's certainly not right. Anyway, that's all I have to say.
All right, do we have some direction on this letter?
I so move to authorize staff to send a letter to the United States Environmental Protection Agency supporting a request regarding air quality attainment deadlines proposed by the San Joaquin Valley Air Pollution Control District.
Let's second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 4-0. Item number 9B, authorization to reject bid for installation of concrete pad for skate park and authorize staff to do some of the work in-house and subcontract a small portion. Cleve?
As mentioned in my report, we received bids for the concrete pad on the skateboard park last Friday, right, Ernie? I believe it was. We only had one bid that we were disappointed in that. We thought we got the word out. There were several other people who took out plans, but for some reason did not submit bids. That wind bid came in at $24,847. We had received estimates from contractors. We had talked to all of them, several of them, and they had consistently, including our engineer's estimate, had been somewhere between $12,000 and $15,000. So we're not sure where that was at. However, what quite often happens on some of these small jobs, you get contractors who will bid them thinking it's a small job. If I get it, I'm going to put money into it so that I make good money on it. If I don't get it, it's not a real big deal. They use it as a filler in between larger projects that they have. It's my guess that perhaps that's what happened on this one. We have looked at it. I've talked to our Public Works Director, Ernie Garza. He has qualified concrete workers on staff, and we think that we can do a lot of the work ourselves and then hire a crew to assist us with some of the final finish work on the concrete. Ernie has been doing some studies. I don't know if you have anything to add, Ernie, but we're quite confident that we can do this for under $15,000 using our staff and some other help on the finish work. So, Ernie, if you want to add anything or answer any questions the council might have on this. The goal is that we have to keep this project moving. We know we've had delays before. We want to make sure that it doesn't get delayed again, and we think by doing this that we can keep it moving. The other option would simply be two options. One would be to accept this bid of $24,000. Another option would be to reject it and go back out to bid again, which is going to put you at least a month more behind where we're at right now. Or you can accept the proposal that staff has to do the work this way.
Okay, what's the status of the ground over there right now? Have you done any work on the leveling it off and everything, anything yet, or?
We just did the preliminaries, removing the oleanders, the trees that were in the way. Scratched the dirt up a little bit, but what we're going to need to do is go in there and compact the subgrade, bring in some aggregate. We can do the forming. I talked with Dan Pardo. He's our senior maintenance worker. He's an expert in concrete finishing and concrete work. And we feel that we can do this project for about half of the amount, and all he's requesting is additional help from some professional concrete finishers that he's associated with, and we'd be able to complete the job for a lot less than what that bid was.
Do you have any work over there that we've had volunteers, that throughout the years on this thing that it's been going to help with getting this ready? Do you have any work over there that volunteer people could do?
No, because
or would there be more problems?
It probably would be, because I mean, we're only talking a slab that's 40 by 80, and most of the efforts will be in the compacting and the forming of for the pad. So I'm sure that Dan would probably want to do a lot of that work himself, because he has his own procedure and his own method, and we have others to assist him. Perhaps maybe we might hire somebody for a day or two to assist him who has experience in concrete
And
work.
do we have the professional finishing equipment, or we could rent it, or?
We have most of the equipment for concrete work. We do a lot of
Power
sidewalks
floats.
and a lot of driveways. So
Power floats and things like that?
yes.
Okay. And how soon could you start on it if we approved it?
We could probably start.
Tonight.
Lights over there,
We would probably start sometime tomorrow or the day after. It would take us about a week, I guess, to get the site ready and getting ready for pouring. And
So we're talking maybe 30 days to complete?
yeah. I'm hoping that, barring any emergency like a big water main break or anything else, if we can concentrate our efforts, I'm looking 2-3 weeks at the most.
Yeah, the reason I said 30 days, because that would flow right into our next item here. So,
Sure.
okay. Anyone have any other questions for Ernie?
No, I'll make a motion, we reject bid for installation of concrete pad for skate park and authorize staff to do some of the work in-house and subcontract a small portion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 4-0. Item number 9C, award proposal for skate park structures to Skateway for a total cost of $29,267. Lee?
Thank you. Let me clarify. Councilmember Applegate came in and told me about the mistake I'd made on this, but Skatewave and Ross Recreation Equipment are the same proposal. I apologize for that. Skatewave is the actual skate park structure company. Ross Recreation Equipment is a company here in California that represents that company. So the company I've been dealing with is Ross Recreation Equipment. However, the actual equipment would be made by a company called Skatewave. So that's where the difference is there. You have my report here. As you can see, cost-wise, my recommendation is that we consider Ross Recreation Equipment. I took a trip down to Southern California last week, and I visited actually it was a church that had the Ross Recreation Equipment or the Skatewave equipment, which is the first one there. And I also looked at one from Rampage, which is the third one down. I looked at some of their equipment down in Southern California. I have not had a chance to look at the other two because they did not have them in an area where that I could get to visit at this time. A couple of things that I brought out under my comments. Ross Recreation Equipment has the best warranty. They have the 10-year warranty. Rampage does have a 5-year warranty. Ross is the only one that uses, well, Ross and American Ramp Company each use all steel equipment. The difference is the coating, the Tech Track coating that Ross Recreation Equipment uses. Gives it more of a texture to the steel, takes away some of the slickness that was some of the concern that some of our skaters raised early on. It also protects it from rust and things like that the other equipment did have. Their equipment is all finished, painted, etc. This includes all of that. All of the structures, the ramps, etc. have panels on the back. I did take some pictures down there. And I'll pass some of these out for you to look at if you'd like to. The thing that I was impressed with this company is that when I got down to looking at their pictures, or looking at their actual equipment, it looked exactly like it did in the brochures. And you know how sometimes you get a brochure and everything looks real nice, and then when you look at the actual thing, well, this isn't quite what I expected. But so let me pass these out to kind of give you an idea. This is the type of equipment that we'll be looking at. I'll give you a few, Councilman Martina, and if anyone in the audience would like to come up and look at these, you're welcome to also. To give you ideas, you can see kind of the panels. You can see
It's all metal?
it's all steel, and it has this Tech Track coating, which is painted on it. The maroon color and the green color is that type of coating. Pardon?
Yeah.
Okay.
One of those would probably be better.
Which one is
As soon as
that?
they
Yeah.
come back.
That's a good one.
So, like I say, I was very impressed with their equipment. It seems to be, of the ones that I looked at, the most complete as far as providing a finished product that is something that we can go right into. The other thing is, you can see my estimate is for, or their bid for alternate one.
So you know.
Alternate one is the design that we sent out with our proposal. They have their own, which is similar to that, which is alternate 2. And I believe, Judy, we put both of those in here, alternate 1 and alternate 2. There's not a big cost difference in those, so you can see the basic differences in those.
Yeah.
Okay.
Here, Bob,
Well, it's pretty much the same.
this one here.
That's a good one. I like the 10-year warranty part.
A ramp like.
Yeah.
That is a big advantage, the 10-year warranty. Again, some of the others do not include the back panels on the top of the ramps. They have bars that would, provide that safety, but they do not include the panels. So they don't look quite as finished in my mind as these do. Like I say, they're all steel, so as far as wear and tear, they hold up. There's not a lot that can go wrong with them.
And you were saying that the lead time on these is 4 to 6 weeks?
4 to 6 weeks is what is
Okay.
defined in their proposal.
Ernie wouldn't have any problem putting this in? Well,
This is just like an erector center.
Yes.
As far as
Part A
units,
goes
how
to
many
Part
units
B, so-
would they be purchasing?
Any 5-year-old can
Well,
do it.
as you can
Adults
see,
have a
if you look at
problem.
the
5-year-old can do
diagrams
it.
back here,
That's it.
this is what it would be. If you look in one of these pictures, there's a piece that's very similar to this piece in the middle.
Yeah.
And then what we are showing is the quarter pipes that you would see at the end.
Yeah.
There's one that is, the taller one I believe is a 5 foot, the smaller one is a 3 foot, the shorter side of that. The middle piece is a spine, it's called. You can see in the middle there that's, they can use it to jump over, or they grind on the top of that. And then on the other end is not a quarter pipe, but it's just a straight ramp that goes up to the top of that one.
What's on the top left, is that just a bench?
Top left, no, that is actually, I forget what they call, a type of railing that they actually jump up on again with their skateboards and grind on.
Well,
I
for-
believe it's 18 inches tall.
For us old people, it's a bench.
Or it could be used as a bench, yes. And then in the bottom, you can see there's another 2-level type railing that is there also. As Councilmember Applegate was asking our Public Works Director about putting this together, my proposal is, after looking through this, seeing how it is built, et cetera, I'm recommending that we eliminate, it's approximately $6,000 for the cost of installation, and do that ourselves. I looked at it, and it's very simple. It's basically bolting the thing to get together. But what we will do is, I think we can use volunteers. This is something that definitely volunteers can do. Bring our own tools, and we can have somebody to supervise them. But there's not a lot to it. Put these pieces together and bolt them together, and they're ready to go.
Well, would you drill or use light bolts when you put the concrete in?
You don't, this is not actually fastened to the
Oh, they're not
concrete.
fastened? Oh.
They are heavy enough by the time you get them all put together. I took several, even the smaller pieces, and tried, pushing them, see what I could do, and they don't move. They're very heavy. There's enough weight there that they stay where they're at, so.
Well, then maybe we better find somebody younger than Ernie to do it then.
So, as you can see on the ramps, there's no exposed bolts that they, potentially can catch on and come loose and stuff. With the these others that use the Skate-Lite Pro surfacing, you have that potential. They have screws that they actually put those in, and they're done in a way, they're inset in that they're not supposed to come loose, but you have that potential still. The Skate-Lite surface also is much more sturdy than wood, but it does have a tendency to fray after a while, and you will. The people that I've talked to that have parks with these surfaces say that about every 3 years you'll have some that you'll have to replace, and it's pretty expensive, the surfacing that they put on those.
Now, on the one that we're speaking of, the surface is, how is it fastened on? Is it welded on, or,
It's actually bolted from underneath.
and then the surface on top of that?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So there's nothing, but it's all bolted together.
Okay. Any other questions?
I move that we award proposal for skate park structures at skate park to Skate Wave for a total cost of $29,267.
Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 4-0.
Okay. We will come back and note what will be required in terms of a budget amendment. I noted a dollar figure in your, in item 9B of approximately $12,000, but we'll include that in in the final budget, so that you have that then. So,
We'll wait-
once we know the full
Wait and
cost.
see what the actual cost of the
Right.
concrete is then, too.
Right.
Okay. So with a lot of luck, by mid-August, we should have a skate park.
Right.
Okay.
Are you like throwing out the first pitch? Are you going to do the first skateboard?
Yeah, right.
Do the first
Yeah.
flip.
I'll have a race with you. Item 9D, authorize staff to call for bids for improvements to youth center and provide direction regarding conversion of storage units to computer center. Steve, you want to take that one too, or?
Yeah, I have a drawing here I'm passing out for you to look at, just for your information. You have my report here. You know, this is part of, these improvements are part of the $100,000 that we got from the state last year. And there are a few things that we still need to take care of, part of this process. Obviously, the preschool is still in there, so any improvements that we do currently would have to work with so that they could still be in there until we get their building finished over by the library. As you can see from this, the restrooms are pretty much not a big deal on the left-hand side of this drawing. That's where the new restrooms will be. That's on the west end of the building. Will be built in between the current baseball snack shack and the building. That's one change that will be made. This includes installing all new windows, double pane vinyl windows that will. We will also work with PG&E because they have a program currently for rebates for installing things like that. So we will look into that also. In the upper right-hand corner is where the current storage rooms are that I discussed in my report. The plan is that the two doors located on the left would be converted into windows to give visual and light into there. And then there would be one door down at the bottom as shown on the plan to enter into the computer room. The walls that are between these are currently 3 rooms, and those walls that are in there would be removed as part of the process to create one big room for this purpose. And you can see on the back wall they're showing where potentially would be, they're drawing us to show a table that would hold the computers in that location. This is the issue that I brought up, as I mentioned in my report, that is somewhat, could be controversial. These rooms have been used for, well, Judy was telling me today, since the building was built, back in the 70s, is that right, Judy? 50s, excuse me. One is used by the Boy Scouts, another one is used by the Girl Scouts, and one is used by 4-H to store stuff in. A couple of them have asked me about that. I've told them that if we go through as planned, those rooms are to be converted and would not be available for storage in the future. However, the building still would be available to be used for their scout meetings and etc. after the hours when it's not open as a teen center. So that would still be available for use. One of the options, as you can see in the middle of the drawing, there are 2 restrooms which are our current restrooms, and then there's a little storage room in between those. It is perhaps possible that those could be modified to allow storage for those users so that they didn't always have to carry their stuff back and forth. But they have some larger stuff in those current storage rooms that would not fit in there, and they would have to find other locations for that. So if we want to move forward with this and create that computer room, we would need to let them know that they would no longer be able to have their storage there, at least not as much as they currently have.
What were our plans originally for the existing restrooms? Leave them in there? Or?
No, we were going to take those out and probably use them just like for some type of storage for us, janitor closets or whatever we needed those for.
And this room to the left of the vending room would be an office?
That is planned to be an office
Okay.
for our staff to store supplies and et cetera, things like that.
Okay.
That's currently used as the office or storage room by the preschool. Anything else that you'd like me to answer questions on, I'll try to do that. We will probably delay a little bit on this because we're still need to get our agreements done with the state for the funding. The funding's all approved. We just need to get the agreements all signed and everything. So we will, once you approve this, we will delay actually going out to bid on it a little bit until we get that agreement in hand. But
Well, I concur with the city manager's report on the design that we have in front of us. I think that for the best use possible for the most kids.
I agree.
All right, you want to formalize that, Tom?
Yes, I authorize staff to call for bids for improvements to youth center and provide direction regarding conversion of storage units to the computer center using the design that is provided before us tonight.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 4-0. Item number 9E. Approve recommendations of the Parks and Recreation Commission regarding opening park restrooms.
Mayor and Council, at your last meeting, or actually at the May 8th meeting, Ms. Trina Carter came before you and presented this question about opening the restrooms for longer hours. We have been reviewing that for the past month. We took it back to the Parks and Recreation Commission last week and received a recommendation from them, and you have that recommendation before you. Also attached to your report, you have a list of some of the problems that we've had over the last month. One item that I need to bring up that is not included on that list, this came from our Public Works Director, is that I believe it was on May 13th, 14th, about there, the portable restroom at Pioneer Park was burned to the ground. Someone set it on fire and it was completely destroyed. So that's just one more thing to throw in there. And then you can see some of the things that happened here. I do have some pictures and some overheads if you'd like to see some of the vandalism and some of the things that have occurred in the park. I had our police chief scan some pictures for me. So I have them on overhead, or I have just the pictures if any of you would like us to show those. What's your pleasure? Would you like to see them? You like the overheads?
I'll
do
just
you-
take a look at those.
Okay.
I didn't get an E.
Pardon?
I didn't get an E, I got his. 9E.
Well, I didn't get the 9E
didn't get a 9E
exactly
either.
either. No, I just saw,
You didn't get the front page?
no.
No.
Okay.
That's where I was looking for the,
Well, Councilmember Fantasia didn't get the second page, I guess.
John, can I trade you your first?
Yeah, sure. I remember you.
Our machine was acting up that day we were doing the reports, and
Yeah, because I was looking for the recommendation.
The
of the park-
recommendation.
Yeah, and I couldn't.
let me read that. What the Parks and Recreation Commission recommended was that we go back to our previous schedule at Pioneer Park, which is we will open the restrooms at Ernie approximately 7 o'clock is when they open those in the morning. They lock them at 3:30 when they leave. There is a portable restroom, or there was a portable restroom over there, and we haven't brought that back currently, but we would plan to bring that back and make that available for after hours, the portable restroom.
What about on the weekends?
The portable restroom is all that would be available on the weekends. At Barrington Park, our recommendation is to continue as we have been doing, which is the Public Works Department will open those in the morning, sometime after they come to work, and the police department will lock them in the evenings. And we'll continue to monitor that. As you can see, most of these problems that are in this report that was given you happened at Pioneer Park, actually, rather than Barrington. But there were a few times when we actually missed getting, our procedure didn't work the way it quite was supposed to, and Barrington Park was not, there was some miscommunication, was not always opened up on the weekends. So we want to continue to monitor that and see if it is opened up the way it is, if, these increase significantly. Also, I gave you, or we passed out tonight, a memo that our Public Works Director did, a kind of survey of what other cities did. So you can see that report for your information too. And you can see that most of them do actually leave their restrooms open 24 hours a day. Houston, Gustine,
Well, two of the parks.
Riverbank,
in Gustine.
and Newman are the ones that do not.
I read in the paper, Modesto, it cost them a lot of money, but they went to stainless steel, which can't be destroyed nearly as easily as porcelain.
Yeah. It can still be graffitied, but it
Right,
can't be,
but it can't be-
it can't be damaged.
But they were
as easily.
talking, what, $200,000 or $300,000?
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
way up there.
Cleve, I had a question. I
Sure.
think there's a portable restroom at Desmore Park, is that correct?
Yes. Ernie, is that still out there at Densmore Library Park? We still have the portable restroom there? Yeah.
It was in the parking lot, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah, you need those restrooms, I tell you,
Yeah.
because it's quite
Yeah.
obvious what's going to happen if you don't have them.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Would you state your name? And we
Tarina
know
Carter.
who you are, but.
Yeah, Tarina Carter, 1138 Balsam Drive,
Okay.
here in Newman for 9 years, 10 years. I just want to make two comments. I know Cleve made you aware that the Barrington Park, there's some mix-up in times and the park being opened on the weekend, and that still continued to be a problem. I've been there the last 2 Sundays. No bathrooms open. Father's Day, there was a real nice sized group of people playing volleyball, probably about 40 people, lots of children, no bathroom use. So I just, if this is going to be something that gets approved, I just want to make sure that every other month I'm not saying, hey, what's going on with the Public Works, or, Cleve, why is this not being done?
Yeah. Let me just quickly, Trina, that was a miscommunication, probably on my fault that happened. There was some miscommunication, but they will be open from now on. I apologize for that, but yeah.
And then the other thing is, I know that Parks and Recreation made this recommendation, which I'm very pleased considering the vandalism that occurred, which is actually very disheartening. But I'm a little concerned about the porta potties as far as how often you're going to have them serviced.
What were we normally having those done, Ernie? Once a week?
Twice.
Twice a week?
Before the weekend and right after the weekend, Friday and Monday.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, that seems reasonable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right, do we have a motion to approve?
It's just a downright shame that these people do this kind of stuff.
I agree, but we can't watch them
No.
24 hours a day, so.
I so move that we approve recommendation of the Parks and Recreation Commission regarding opening of park restrooms.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 4-0. Item number 9F, a resolution ratifying memorandum of understanding between the City of Newman and Operating Engineers Local Union Number 3, which is the miscellaneous employees.
Mayor and Council, this item, you just reviewed this in closed session and approved this agreement. As mentioned there, the agreement, because of the short notice that we've had, the actual agreements are not prepared yet. However, our city attorney, I believe, has mentioned that if we want to add that to the resolution, that you would authorize the city manager to sign those agreements. Is that correct, Tom?
Yeah, just amend where it says a mayor, and put city manager, if that's the
Only-
way you want to do it, or you could just.
Well, either way, he
waive
can
it.
sign them, just that they're not ready yet.
We only
to
needed
show
it
you
on the
tonight.
police one anyhow.
What's that?
We only needed it on the police one.
No, we need it on the, on this one. The police one, I think, was already, don't you have everything ready for that?
No, we don't have
That was a 10-year
that.
one.
continuous
Okay.
service?
Okay.
Pardon?
That's because of the 10-year continuous service? Oh, I see what,
No.
okay, never, I was thinking of the.
We don't, what we don't have is we don't have the actual MOUs, the actual language changes made in the MOU yet to present for you tonight. So, I mean, I have no problem with, if this is all right, if you want to approve them based on the details that you were given. I don't know if you want Margaret to outline those details again here in open session. It's up to the council if you want to do that.
Well, it would only be for the public, for their information anyhow.
Right, that's what I mean, but it's public information now, so.
Yeah,
if-
well, I would suggest that we make it public so they know what's going on.
Okay. Margaret, do you just want to go quickly over the provisions of the two contracts that we're approving?
Good evening, Honorable Mayor and members of the council. The miscellaneous bargaining unit has agreed to a 5-year contract. Each year will be resulting in a 3.33% salary increase. Currently in the legislature, there's a bill to enhance retirement programs for miscellaneous employees. If this bill and when this bill gets approved, and if it occurs during the 5-year span, in place of the salary, a 3% at 60 years old program will be enacted. The cost of that program, the cost to the city, will be subtracted from the salary increase. Also, there's current shoe allowances at $140 a year. It will go up to $170. And the health insurance for the 5-year period will remain at the same coverage at no cost to the employees. This is for the miscellaneous employees.
Thank you, Margaret.
So,
I do
Tom,
one at a time.
can we
Well,
just,
yeah, one at a-
can we just leave this resolution as it is? My only question
Yeah,
was, without having the actual agreement in front of us, can they still adopt it? Is
Yeah.
that- Okay.
Do we have a motion?
I move we adopt resolution number 2001, next number, ratifying a memorandum of understanding between the City of Newman and Operating Engineers Local Union 3.
Second.
Miscellaneous.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 4-0. Item number 9G, a resolution ratifying memorandum of understanding between the City of Newman and Operating Engineers Local Union Number 3, police officers, corporal, and sergeant. Margaret, would you like to go over that one too, please?
The police bargaining unit has also agreed to a 5-year contract. Year 1 and Year 2 will each result in a 3.33% salary increase. Year 3 will institute a 3% at 50 retirement program at a cost to the city of 7.3%. Year 4 will be a 3.33% salary increase. Year 5 will be no salary increase, but there will be a chance for a reopener of negotiations if the city and the union agree to that. Uniform allowance, which is currently $800, will go up to $850 in Year 1. Year 2, it'll go up to $900, an additional $50. Year 3, it'll remain at $900. Year 4 is $950, and Year 5, no change at $950. This is an annual stipend for the police officers to purchase and clean their uniforms. Health insurance, the current coverage at the same level will be retained for the 5-year period at no cost to the employee. Additional items, currently the police department has incentive programs, which there are caps to how much an officer could earn. Those caps will be removed. In addition, there has been a creation of a new assignment pay. A school resource officer will be entitled to the incentive pay. We're separating incentive pay from assignment. Incentive pay are skills that are earned by the employee and will be retained as long as they are either an officer, a corporal, or a sergeant. Bilingual skills, post-intermediate, post-advanced certificates, and education, either AA or a BA, will include additional pay depending, and they can earn all for the certificates. Assignment pay are jobs that are assigned to the officers by the police chief and limited by the number of slots available. This includes a detective at 1 slot, a field training officer at 3 slots, and a school resource officer for 1 slot. In addition, there is a range master and a tactical defense instructor. Both are 1 slots. All of these levels could be an additional 2.5% pay increase. On the assignments, an officer can only have 1 assignment, either the detective or the FTO or the SRO, plus either the range master or the defensive tactic instructor. So that could be a total of 5%. The sergeant and the corporal can only be either the range master or the defensive tactical instructor person at 2.5%. Longevity pay will be included for 10 years of continuous service with the city. There will be an additional 5% step raise. And a wellness program which allows employees who have not used their sick leave after 80% of an employee's work week period can be entitled to sell back 48 hours, which is currently stated in the MOU, but it has a fixed amount of 32 hours instead of 80%. This helps to accommodate the scheduling that current officers have at 4 days at 11 hours per day.
Thank you, Margaret. Anybody have any questions for Margaret? Okay. Do we have a motion to approve? Item 9G.
I so move that we adopt resolution number 2001, next number, ratifying a memorandum of understanding between the City of Newman and Operating Engineers Local Union Number 3, police officers, corporal, and sergeant.
Second.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Second, I'm sorry, Tom, I was,
Come to the party.
okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
I'd like to commend Margaret for doing such a fine job on this.
She always does.
Yeah, I know.
Item number 10, items from the city manager. Lee?
Couple of things you've all seen. We're right in the middle of our streetscape project, and that is moving along okay. If there's any questions that we can answer, either myself or Ernie Garza, we'd be happy to on that.
I'm just concerned, are we keeping everyone informed? I don't know. I don't know if we've used the paper to actually inform people as far as the progress and where we're at, and I think.
There was an article in Thursday's paper on that, and we will continue to do that as we go along and try and keep them informed on various things. We are still working with the contractor on different issues as we go along to try and ensure, safety and things like that as issues come up. For your information, many of you may have seen that they were working last night, grinding the intersection in the street over on Fresno Street. They did grind that out and remove the material. Their plan is tonight, I believe they're on Merced, and this is a little bit different, so just for your information, they are going to grind Merced at night, but they're going to leave the material in there, similar to what they did when they did the trenches on the storm drain project. The purpose of that is to get all of the grinding done that they need to do while they have that heavy piece of equipment in town. They're going to do, as I mentioned, at night, so there's as little as possible disruption to people getting through town and doing things. It'll be opened back up in the morning. It will have the material ground out, but it'll be packed down so that they can drive over it and still get through without any major disruption there. So that will happen on Merced Street tonight, and I believe they're going to do Tulare tomorrow night. Is that correct, Ernie? So that all of those intersections will have the material ground, and they'll be ready to go when they get ready to move on to those. In talking to the contractor about schedule, just kind of an update, he projects that they hopefully will be pouring concrete this week. By next week, mid to the end of next week, we should see the sidewalk starting to be poured back in on Main Street here between Kern and Tulare. So they are getting ready to do that, and they are moving forward with that. We have a streetscape committee meeting set up for tomorrow afternoon to review the submittals. That includes the light bases, the bollards, the benches, all of those things, the concrete color, and the brick color. All of those things will be reviewed by the streetscape committee tomorrow afternoon so that we have those things ordered and ready to go. Question?
Yes, Bob Navoa, 940 Fresno Street, Navoa Jewelers. Just wanted to let the council know and folks at home, if you get a chance to come downtown tonight and see that piece of equipment in operation, it's pretty amazing. And also, as most of you are aware, we are in the brunt of or the pathway of this project. And today was the day they ripped out our sidewalk. Actually, they started yesterday evening, and it's been going very good. We had a minor problem at our store, and they were there within the hour. So I think the communication between the crew and the city and everybody is doing a really good job. They're supposed to. In fact, we even had a council member standing watch over this, making sure that things went well. So I thank
I was there
Tom.
when Patty called.
I thank Tom for his diligence in this. But we've been assured that folks will be coming on Monday to assess what can be done to repair the minor damage. It's a minor thing, but I was impressed by the fact that these folks do and care, and so they said that ours was the first problem. They said that they hoped it was the last, but they weren't too sure that was going to happen. But I will tell you that it's been a positive experience for us so far, and it hasn't been a terrible inconvenience. People can get in, and I've adopted a little slogan that I think I'm going to ride the rest of the way through this, and that is progress is never painless. So it does come with a price, but so far it's been a real positive experience. So we're looking forward to the completion of it, and it's exciting to watch.
Are you going to share your slogan with your dentist across the street there, or something that kind of fits in there?
Yeah, right. Progress is never painless, yeah.
Okay.
So I thank everybody for their diligence, and it's been a good experience so far, as I said. Thank you.
Thanks for your comments.
Any other questions on the streetscape?
Did we plan on having any promotional things going on?
We are still working on those. We have the hard hats for the kids are ordered. I hope that they're here next week. The stickers are ordered that we're putting on those, and so those will be ready to give out to business owners that they can use. We're also working on a couple of other things. We want to try and put together a drawing where you come into a store, you get a ticket that goes into a drawing, and come into a store and buy something. We'll put it that way. You get a ticket for a drawing. We're working on things like possibly a trip for to Disneyland or something like that. So some various things, and then we're going to talk to business owners about possibly participating in that individually, where they may want to come up with a prize giveaway that they will give away just for their store. That could be part of that also, part of that drawing. So we're putting together the details on that and hope to have that done. We're also going to encourage and try to do some things through advertising in the newspaper too to help out some of the businesses. So we're working on those.
We're going to be doing a hard hat.
Yes.
Do you have an anticipated completion date for INYO?
Ernie, will you discuss that item? I know that's a tough one.
There's a member in the audience.
INYO has been quite a problem to date, and it had to do because of conflicting boundaries and property lines, and so it took a while to get that squared away. But I think we've pretty much determined which the correct boundaries are. Yeah, at the present we have the underground contractor putting in the storm drain pipeline. I believe he completed the pipeline installation today, but Pacific Bell also is out there, and they're waiting on their crews to come out because there's a big phone cable along the side of the road that's right directly in the middle of where a catch basin is going to go. So he's got to wait on the phone company to complete that. The phone company took advantage of the opening of that street to install conduits so that in the future they can get all their lines undergrounded at that intersection. So that's one positive thing out of that. They won't come back and cut open a new street. There's a fence line from Vegicool that needs to be relocated, a fire hydrant, and 2 backflow preventers at that location. The underground contractor, the sub, is the one who is responsible for those. He'll probably begin on those tomorrow. So as soon as they get those out of the way, Pac Bell, last time I spoke with the engineer was last Friday. He indicated that by the end of this week, he was expecting the cable to be removed and the poles relocated. So It's just been, the PG&E poles are still in the way. I haven't heard from them, but there is a plan to block those out and pour the curb and gutter around those, and then come back and finish those in at a later date when they do relocate those power poles. But that's about all I have today.
You
Any
looking at like
questions?
a couple weeks, a month?
In talking with the general, he said that as soon as that underground contractor got all his work completed, that he said within 3 weeks he would have a new street in there. Pardon? Well, he mentioned that last Friday, so I would imagine the 3 weeks starting this week. But that's about as close as I can call it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ernie.
You're welcome.
Anything else, please?
I think that's all I have, unless there's any other questions on any of the projects we've got going.
John?
No questions for Cliff?
Okay. You want to start off for the items from city council members?
I have nothing.
Okay.
I was gonna ask about Inu, but it was taken care of.
Bob?
No, just to say, I can hardly wait till the downtown is completed, and I'm sure a lot of merchants can hardly wait too. But I guess, John, you're gonna have a good time when you have the fall festival, so
Parade's going by your house.
that's okay. That's all I have.
Sell that popcorn. Tom?
Just so far that, as Bob said, that most things I've heard about it, it has been positive. I think I've only heard 2 actually negative comments, but everything else I've heard, they just say, we can't wait till we see it when it's finished. And they said it's well worth the wait, because we've been waiting for years.
That's true. That all?
That's it.
Okay. I have a couple of things. I can't remember the name of the company that did the asbestos and the roof removal from the theater.
ET.
Anyway, they were really great. They went around and they talked to all the neighbors and explained they were going to be there at night and they'd be trying to be quiet and all this stuff. And they did this in 2 days. And hope it doesn't rain until we put the roof back on again. But Ernie, you want to comment on that?
Just a quick comment on ET abatement. They called me up and requested a change order. I haven't seen the amount yet, but when they were pulling the roof off, they said whoever put that roof on used finishing nails instead of roof nails, so it took them an extra night to get all that ripped off.
Did you see how thick that roof was?
Yes, it was a very thick roof. And so, anyway, we have a change order forthcoming, and I believe it's legitimate. And maybe perhaps in just speaking with the city manager, we can get it approved at staff level.
Yeah, they indicated to you, I think, that it might take them 3 days, and actually they did it in 2, so can't be all that much. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. And I have one question. Has anyone ever heard anything of what's happening with this senior center / adult education center that was approved by the voters in November?
The school board took action to begin talking to architects about designing it, but it hasn't really gone any further than that, and they've told us that they will work in conjunction with that, with us on the design of that, and et cetera. So
Yeah, because
it's actually in round 2 of the bond, so it's not, they're trying to get the school.
I realize that, yeah.
Yeah.
But I would like to get that before some of the seniors that voted for it are still around anyway. Don't want it to be like that school.
Yeah.
And the last thing is, I didn't bring it with me, but I had minutes of the county supervisors meeting where they approved projects to use the county tobacco tax for the next 2 years, which amounts to $8 million. And it seems that that $8 million, all the tobacco tax is supposed to be the whole county, the cities in the county and everything. And it all seems to have gone to unincorporated county areas for streets, a $950,000 community center for Grayson, $750,000 for another unincorporated city, I can't remember what it was, and $350,000 for a community center, city hall for City of Waterford, and none of it to any of the other cities. So I think that we ought to try and have a little chat with our supervisors and see if we can get some of that changed. You have 60 days to appeal it after, I think they have a early July meeting, and it'd be 60 days to appeal it after that, so we might write them a letter or
Do you want
in touch with them.
would you like me to put that on your next meeting and we can prepare a response and show the distribution of where that is going based on
Yeah.
what they did? Would that
Yeah,
be-
I
Sure,
thought I
sure.
brought that with me, but I didn't.
Let's show some
so-
projects that we could use the money for.
Yeah, I think in this, didn't we, during this Renaissance project, didn't we have some projects that we wanted to do, or?
Yeah, we were very actively involved in that, and I don't know that we showed exact projects, but we showed the needs for different, especially in the area of some social service things, and also in the areas of parks and recreation, the needs that we had. So,
Still like to get Yellow Street in.
yeah,
Yeah, I'd like to see us, well, I've talked about this Simon Newman building as a possible
We need a lot of it.
city hall, but see if we can get some funding from some of these sources to come up with something. That's all I have. So if we can have a motion.
I move that we adjourn.
I thought you would. Second?
Second.
We're adjourned.
You didn't ask us what they said about needing